Okay, go for it.
All right, awesome. Yeah, I'm 34 and full-time student here at BSU and help desk analyst for OIT. So when students or teachers need help, they call me.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's a big job.
yeah, it's fun. We support everything. So if you can imagine, every software application that's running, Blackboard, Bronco Web, Bronco Mail, Google Apps, Google Docs, just anything and everything that's involved in school, setting up printers, file services, everything. So there's lots of them.
That's what you do. Great. Okay, you've been to Burning Man, right?
Yes,
More than once?
yes,
How many times?
3 times.
3 times. Do
Yep.
you remember the themes at any of them?
Yeah, I was 2002 was Floating World, and then 2010 was Metropolis, and then last year was Rites of Passage.
Nice. And in your opinion, what were the importances of each?
The theme kind of sets. It does a couple different things. One, it sets a theme for art projects, and it also kind of sets like a conversation, so a cultural conversation, so that people are going to be looking at this, having events that are centered around that. It shapes kind of what the city does, and yeah, it's pretty interesting. Some have a little bit more than others, but the Metropolis theme was a pretty big one because it was actually about the city of Burning Man and the evolution of it. From several hundred people to over 50,000 people. So,
Sets the tone for it.
yeah, and like cities and what makes a city and what about community space and those types of conversations was kind of geared towards.
Cool. What do you think is different about your culture than other cultures?
Um, what,
A lot of things.
there's a lot. I think that as a subculture in the United States, it's really interesting because so many people have this idea that if you need something, you just go out and buy it, or if you don't know somebody, you shouldn't talk to them. Um, Whereas at Burning Man, it's like you have to take everything you need to survive there, and most people go there above and beyond that. So they might have, say, an art car that's a giant pirate ship made out of a school bus. So stuff like that. Um, so all the art, there were, I think last year I looked at just on Playa art pieces so it had the name of the piece and then a brief paragraph description. The list was 45 pages long, and that's just stuff that was out in open Playa. So the culture is that you have everything you need. You go somewhere, you're awesome for like a while, you share with anyone and everyone, and then when you're done, you pack it all up and you leave no trace. So for me, I now feel that I'm like, when I see a trash can, I've got trash. I throw it in the trash can. I'm conscious now that somebody else has to come and take that trash away, just from always being geared towards the events, whether it's Burning Man or local events, where you have to haul out your trash away. So it's just, and then the sharing thing. You don't just bring what you need, you bring extra. So maybe you're gonna do like grilled cheese sandwiches in the middle of the night, or make popcorn, or serve ice cream to just total strangers. So like our theme camp has a bunch of parties where we'll make margaritas for 3 or 4 hours straight for 1,000 people. So while DJs are playing it, everybody's having a good time.
Fun.
So,
Definitely more giving.
yeah, it challenges people, and it also the shift that takes place once you get to Burning Man. You're in this completely surreal environment. So everything that you've ever known has been like stripped away, and then something completely different has been added. And then you're like all of a sudden realize, wait, people accept me for who I am, and whatever it is I'm doing, as long as I'm not hurting somebody else or ruining somebody else's good time, which has a different effect on everybody. And you ask people like, what did you learn the first time you went or going to Burning Man? And they'll usually tell you something different, but kind of similar themes. So,
Awesome. Are there any unique verbal codes or nonverbal codes that are used in this
Verbal?
culture? Or nonverbal?
Oh, okay. Yeah. There, I guess I don't know about a code, but you've always asked permission before you take somebody's picture. You know, so I don't know if that's what you're thinking
No,
of,
yeah,
but
that's a good one. Because that's different than the society
I'm
picture.
trying to think of some other stuff. Yeah. Um,
We were,
Dress is even
yeah, we were
alright.
talking about how we didn't think that there was necessarily verbal ones, but like the taking the picture. But the nonverbals were like the symbols of Burning Man, and then this year they had a horse. They
yeah,
always
the
have the
Trojan horse.
Trojan
No,
horse.
yeah, no,
Okay.
that was for the theme
Okay.
part of it. So they had it. They built this giant horse. It was absolutely amazing, and then they towed it out. They had a bunch of people all dressed up like ancient Greeks, and they towed it out and then burned it.
Yeah. So yeah, we talked about there's not necessarily as many verbals, but a lot of nonverbals, like the way that you dress,
Right,
and then the symbolism of the Burning Man and
right,
that sort of
absolutely.
thing.
Yeah.
Are there any legends or history stories that you'd like to share?
Um, yeah, you probably get if you just basic research it, get kind of like your legends and stuff. The first year that I went was back in 2002. Um, I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I thought it was literally just a big party in the desert. Um, and so I prepared. I didn't realize that you couldn't buy or sell stuff there. I mean, I brought everything I needed, but I expected things to be different. And I got there and I was just like, wow, this is really weird. Um,
You can't buy or sell anything.
no, the only things you can buy there are coffee and ice.
Nice. Yeah.
So,
Saw that.
yeah, and when I went back then, I was a much different person. Um, I had a serious drug addiction, and so I remember one morning sitting out on the tip of at the 10 o'clock part of the city. If you look at the city, it's kind of like a circle from 2 o'clock to 10 o'clock, and radiating streets out from that. So I was on the far top, just out on open playa, just sitting there. There's like a psytrance camp playing music early in the morning. Sun is just about ready to come up, and I was just kind of sitting out there by myself and kind of reflecting on things. And at this time, I was mentally, emotionally, spiritually bankrupt. I had no real friends, didn't have a job, at least not a legal one. And so I just, was estranged from my family. Life was a mess. So I'm sitting out there and I look towards the rising sun, and here comes this three-masted ship. It was an art car called La Contessa, and it's just sailing out of the sunrise in the middle of the desert, and all these people on it, and they're dancing, and they're going to town. I remember just like I'm like, whoa, and I was aware of how small I was, at the same time as like how small all my problems were, and then simultaneously being like, I am just like everybody else here that has organized theme camps, that has built art, that has done. I can do this. I can be an awesome person, um, and so that day I went and wrote a farewell to the drug that I was addicted to on the temple walls, and that burned 2 days later. And so after I came back, I quit using it. So
Wow.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I kind of have a question that goes off of that. Is this event a factor that affects your life outside of burner culture, like you talked about the trash and you now notice more when you're, or other insights or lessons that you carry with you? Are there any others besides
absolutely,
those?
yeah. Participation is one. Not being a spectator. So and
Expect participation when you go?
yeah, don't be a tourist. So I mean, because there's people that do that, but just in my own life, you know, if I notice that there's a piece of trash on the ground, pick it up. If I notice somebody needs help, help them out. But also more than that, planning ahead to be able to be awesome enough to have